Okay, on to the club. Now, a club or stick is a representation of a blunt force weapon, meaning something I am swinging. Oh, shit. Sorry about that, buddy. That was very mean of me. I am swinging.
He didn't even flinch.
Didn't even flinch. It's fucking badass right there. I'm swinging it at someone, okay? So, hypothetically, it could be someone maybe have a long knife they're swinging at you, but it's just a trajectory you're looking at right now. You can take the same trajectory with knives, but it's more of a blunt force weapon, okay? So that could be anything. In your mind, it could be a bottle, it could be a cell phone, it could be, keys, it could be sticks, a weapon off the ground, it doesn't matter. It's just a blunt force weapon, all right? So, first thing to look at is called a jam entrance. So, when I think about this, I'm now trying to fit my line inside, big, to put that weapon behind me, so I start getting overhook controls, okay? Or underhook controls, depending on your height. We'll go into overhook control right now. So, I don't want to just get in there, nonchalantly. It's a forceful entrance of jamming in, but I'm also loading this elbow. That's a really big piece of it. So my footwork too is I'm not going square. I'm actually thinking almost like throwing a left hook into him or throwing a lunging jab where my feet start creating an angle and start loading my hips so I can whip back the other way. Really important concept. So as he throws in, boom, and this elbow is ready to go, whether it be a vertical strike or horizontal strike. And I'm gonna spin him really quick. So both of when I throw the elbow strike here, I turn my body in. When I throw a horizontal strike, I turn my body in. So think about as I'm throwing like almost like a one and a boom, two. But my footwork, it comes here, and then it steps out to that line as I throw the elbow strike with my right arm, okay? That's essentially going to load his right hip and put him off balance, which sets up Osoto Gari, which is a very simple takedown that I love. Should be used all the time when talking combative. So one, now I turn and load it in step two, okay? Now I've got, if I need to add an elbow wave, I add an elbow wave, okay? Or if he's already going backwards, my feet should be in line. My rear leg comes through the hole, I trip. Once he trips, I have to stay on him. Instantly, knee goes to the hip to the belly, okay? This hand comes underneath. So, if you see, I'll slide you back a little bit, get you out of the dark. Okay. So, Anthony's elbow is right here, okay? So it's right at that spot. Everybody can see that. This part of my hand goes right underneath the divot of his elbow. If you feel like it catch a little bit. And a good way to test it is I keep that here and I push into it towards his ear, towards his head. See, he reacted. That means I'm in the right spot, okay? If I don't get a reaction, I know I'm not doing good. It's gotta get, whoop, I want the reaction there of his body and his hips. Now I keep that there hand on the bicep, and I think about cutting, digging underneath with that wrist so it gets really nice and tight, and then I roll my shoulder blades back, and then roll my hands forward, and he taps, okay? So again, here, entering, bam, big elbow, off balance, boom, throw, right on top of it, and pull. You can finish here, or you can actually break the arm if you want, but as long as I get the weapon and he's out with the commission, I'm okay. So one last time, okay? Here, boom. Throwing that elbow, okay? As I throw that elbow, I turn my hips and over. Boom, okay? Now, hypothetically, you're a smaller person. This becomes, can I move your hand really quick? This becomes face into the finger, into the eyes, okay? So let's say I'm a woman. Do I look like one right now? Do I? No, thank you. So that I'm thinking about, my jam is here, instead of now coming across with an elbow, right? I come up with a chin jab, and my fingers go right to his eyelids, all right? Well, going right through the eyeballs, and it's trying to drive that all backwards. Very, very vicious, very effective at driving the head backwards, but the reason why we're doing it is because he just tried to hypothetically kill you. The answer you have to think is like, if I hit Anthony as hard as I can with this against his head, could I kill him? If the answer is yes, then your level of escalation needs to match that if you're talking about defending your life. You can't just be like, well, I don't want to hurt him, so I'm not going to drive my fingers to his eyes. Drive your fucking fingers into his eyes, whatever you can to be the most vicious, disgusting person in the world that gets you out of the situation at hand, gets you out of that chaotic moment so you can survive and do all other stuff, okay? So that's more important than what exact technique you do. We're trying to give you guys ideas that you can play with. All right, so one more time. You throw it in. 1, 2, change my angle. Now I may get here. I may elbow him again. I may headbutt him again. But always making sure that weapon's there, that he can't get his other hand involved. I off balance him. I trip him, follow him up. This hand underneath, drive it, lock it in, breaks it, I take it, okay? I'll pull you back a little bit. So let's look at a couple of the variations of this finish, depending on how he reacts. So new students typically have a hard time getting this feel, and this ends up happening, okay? So first thing I'm gonna go do is that when we get here and it's not working, I'm gonna put my hand on the ground, knee over right next to his face, pinch my knees together, hands come out, and I just break it over my thigh right here. So bam, all right? So really it was simple. I was here, just hold it, knee down the ground, squeeze my knees together, and I break it by almost like trying to slap my ass with my own hand, and then violently shoulder blades back. And that will break it, he'll just drop it as a response. All right, last one. I'm here again, boom. He turns, I let it turn with him. I lock it in, step over, and now snap the shoulder. So we're here again. Boom, he turns, I let it turn. I step over, I even can come down on it if I want, and now I just snap the shoulder. So as a review, you have 3 of them. You have 1, pulling it, that one, 2, coming over, and 3, he bends,